The hegemony had ruled the Outer Rim for 3 centuries, their crimson warships cutting through space like daggers through silk. No species had ever successfully challenged their dominion. The Karathi tried once, their homeworld now a field of glass and ash. The peaceful Villani submitted without firing a shot, choosing slavery over extinction. Even the warrior clans of Nexus Prime knelt before the hegemony's might. Admiral Thex stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion's Edge, watching another world fall. The blue-green planet below had been home to the Quilani, a species of scaled humanoids who had made the mistake of refusing tribute. Their orbital defense platforms burned like dying stars against the planet's atmosphere. "Status report," Thex commanded, his forearms folded behind his back. "All resistance has ceased, Admiral," his tactical officer reported. "The Quilani government is requesting terms of surrender." Thex's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. Another world would join the hegemony's vast empire. Another species would serve their betters. It was the natural order of things. The strong ruled, the weak served. "Incoming transmission from the surface," his communications officer announced. The main view screen flickered to life, showing a battered Quilani official. His scales were dull with defeat, his 3 eyes filled with despair. "Great Admiral," the Quilani began, his voice trembling. We surrender unconditionally. Please, spare what remains of our people." Thex was about to respond when every alarm on the bridge began screaming at once. The lights flickered red as his sensor officer's voice cut through the chaos. "Admiral, massive gravitic distortion detected at the edge of the system. Something's coming out of hyperspace." The view screen shifted to show empty space, then suddenly a ship materialized. Not just any ship, a vessel unlike anything in the Fuhrer hegemony's databases. It was massive, easily twice the size of Dominion's Edge, with a hull that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Strange markings covered its surface, angular symbols that hurt to look at directly. What is that?" Thex whispered. "Unknown configuration, Admiral. The design doesn't match any known species in our records. It's headed straight for us." The alien vessel moved with impossible grace for something so large, sliding through space like a predator stalking prey. As it approached, details became visible. Weapon ports lined its hull like the eyes of some ancient beast, and energy readings showed power levels that made even Thex's seasoned crew nervous. "Sir, incoming transmission from the unknown vessel. Put it through." The bridge fell silent as a new voice filled the air. It spoke in perfect hegemony standard, but with an accent none of them recognized. "Hegemony vessel, this is Captain Blake of the Terran Battleship Resolution. You will cease your bombardment of the planet immediately and withdraw from this system." Thex's mandibles flared in outrage. "Terran? What is a Terran?" He activated his own transmitter. "Unknown vessel, you are interfering with a lawful hegemony operation. Withdraw immediately or face destruction." A sound came through the comm channel that took Thex a moment to identify. Laughter. Cold, humorless laughter. "Admiral, your reputation precedes you. 300 systems under your boot, entire species reduced to slavery. The Karathi glass fields, the Villani work camps, the broken clans of Nexus Prime. Impressive resume. How did they know about those campaigns? The hegemony's records were classified at the highest levels. But here's the thing about bullies," the Terran captain continued. "They're only tough until someone fights back." "You dare threaten the hegemony?" Thex roared. "I have 12 battleships under my command. You face the finest fleet in the galaxy." 12 ships, the captain mused. "And how many civilians are you murdering down there while we talk?" Thex's tactical display showed the Terran ship continuing its approach, but something was wrong. The energy readings were spiking exponentially, and new signatures were appearing around the alien vessel. Smaller ships, dozens of them, materializing from what looked like empty space. "Cloaking technology," his sensor officer breathed. "They were hiding an entire fleet." The Terran captain's voice returned harder now. "Last chance, Admiral. Leave this system. Release the Quilani from your so-called protection. And maybe we'll let you keep your pretty red ships." Thex had built his career on the fear his reputation inspired. No one challenged the hegemony directly. No one dared. "All ships, open fire," he commanded. "Destroy the Terrans." The hegemony fleet unleashed everything they had. Plasma cannons, particle beams, and fusion missiles lit up the void between the fleets. The barrage would have been enough to crack a moon. When the light faded, the Terran ships remained completely intact. "Our turn," Captain Blake said simply. What happened next would be remembered as the day the galaxy changed forever. The Terran weapons didn't just penetrate shields, they ignored them entirely. Hegemony battleships, the pride of the fleet, crumpled like paper under focused beam fire that cut through their armor as if it weren't there. The Dominion's edge shuddered as something struck her port side. Thex looked at his tactical display, in disbelief. His flagship, with armor thick enough to shrug off planet-killer missiles, had been holed by a single shot. "Impossible," he whispered. "Nothing's impossible," came the Terran captain's voice. "Just improbable, like a species that never learned to fight fair suddenly deciding to pick on bullies." One by one, Thex watched his mighty fleet die. Ships that had conquered hundreds of worlds were reduced to drifting hulks in minutes. The few vessels that tried to retreat found themselves pursued by Terran fighters that moved faster than anything should be able to move. As his bridge began to fill with smoke and the artificial gravity failed, Thex finally understood what fear felt like. For 3 centuries, the hegemony had been the apex predator of their corner of space. Now something else had arrived, something that made them look like scavengers by comparison. "This is Captain Blake to all remaining hegemony vessels. Surrender now and you'll be treated according to the laws of war. Continue fighting and join your friends in the void." The few surviving ships powered down their weapons immediately. Down on the planet's surface, the Quilani official stared at his communications console in wonder. The orbital bombardment had stopped. The red ships that had seemed so invincible were burning wrecks. A new voice came through the comm channel, speaking accented but understandable Quilani. "This is the Terran Battleship resolution. The hegemony fleet has been neutralized. Your world is free." The Quilani's 3 eyes widened. "Free? But who are you? Why did you help us?" "Because someone has to," came the simple reply. "And because where we come from, we don't much like bullies." As the Terran fleet began rescue operations for the surviving hegemony crew members, word spread through quantum communicators across the galaxy. The hegemony, undefeated for 3 centuries, had been broken in a single engagement. The humans, Terrans, they called themselves, had arrived. And for the first time in living memory, the oppressed worlds of the Outer Rim dared to hope. The age of the hegemony was over. The age of Terra had begun. I've created a 1,000-word HFY, Humanity HFY, science fiction story based on your title. The story follows the classic HFY trope of humanity, arriving as the unexpected savior against an oppressive alien empire. It features